Hey, good morning and welcome to day 4 of the 15-minute movement break, and happy Thanksgiving. So today we've got another workout for you. Actually, it's going to be one of those 30 seconds on and rotating through different movements. Altogether it'll be 8 minutes in length, but I do have a little bit of movement prep for you before that. And let's see if I can get the whiteboard showing for you. So right here for the movement prep, we're going to start with a little crawling, and then we're going to just change it up a little bit by having our knees off. Bird dog, it's going to do a little different than usual. I'm sure there's a name for that, but if you know it, let me know. Glute bridges, marching glute bridges for a little extra challenge, reverse lunges, and then we're going to try some reverse lunge practice because it's going to be in part of that workout. So in the workout, we're going to do 2 rounds of this. 30 seconds at each movement. So starting with a split squat on one side, then a split squat on the other side, then a batwing. I'll show you what that is. Hollow hold, transverse lunge in one direction, transverse lunge in the other direction, back to the batwings, and then finishing with another hollow hold before we repeat the round. All right, so why don't we get right to it? So let me fix my camera a little bit. Okay, so with crawling, I want you to actually be on your hands and knees and looking at, starting back here, I want you to have the opposite arm and leg going forward at the same time, so that when you have on one side, one hand will be closer to the knee and the other side, the other hand will be far away from the knee. So for right now, we'll keep the knees on the floor. This looks a lot like the crawling we first learned as we were babies. So just keep going back and forth here. It's kind of interesting, sometimes these motor patterns that we used to know and really helped us out once upon a time, we kind of forget them, or we don't really know how to sequence things and put them together. So it's good to go back and put those together. All right, now, as we come back here, we're gonna switch it up just a little bit to make it a little bit more challenging. So from here, I want you to actually bring your knees up off the floor and repeat and do the same thing. But here, I want you to try to avoid letting your hips go off to the side. Try to stay nice and straight as you do this. Really have to stabilize through your trunk as you move your hands and legs. There we go. We're gonna go one more time, back and forth. If you're finding that this is a little bit hard, it'd be a good thing to actually practice a little bit more. Okay. Let's see, I lost my music. All right, so next, we did bird dogs the other day where we're bringing our hand forward as we do this, but now I actually want you to try doing a similar thing, but bringing your arm back as we go. Now, like I said, I think there's a different name for this, but I don't remember what it is, so we're just gonna call it bird dog with the arms back. I like this because it actually works a little bit of the lats and then the opposite glute, which is kind of how things connect. So the opposite lat works with the opposite glute. All right, we'll do a couple more. One more each side. All right, good. Next, we're gonna do some glute bridges. So glute bridges are just a great way to get the glutes activated. So you're gonna be on your back, knees bent up, and then I want you to raise your hips up and come down. Hips up and come down. Don't stop with a little bit of a bend in your hips. Make sure you're going all the way up as you do this. You do 10 repetitions. You should feel your glutes firing pretty well with this. It's just a good thing to wake those up before you do some leg movements. 2 more here. Good. All right, so now we're gonna do a marching glute bridge, which is actually quite a bit harder. So we're gonna actually bring your hips up just like you're up at that top position. So here. Bring your hips up so you're at that top position, and then keep the hips up as you kick one leg out. Bring that down, kick the other leg out. I want you to watch here as you're doing this so that your hips don't fall down even the slightest little bit. You might notice on one side it'll kind of dip, and then the other side will be nice and solid. Really try to avoid that. Really squeeze through your glutes, keeping your hips up at that top position. All right, now while we're down here, I'm going to actually demonstrate the Batwing from the floor. Oftentimes I'll do this actually against a wall, and I'll try to show that variation too. If you have a wall nearby, that might be the best way for you to do it. But keeping your hips on the ground, taking your elbows down into the floor, pushing up through your elbows, and coming back down. You should feel this activating some of your muscles in the back between your shoulders. Okay, the other option for that would be if you're up against the wall, you kind of lean back, put your elbows against the wall, and then push against the wall to do the same thing. Okay? All right, so these transverse lunges that are coming up could be a little bit of extra twisting movement to it, which can be a little sensitive on the knees if you're not careful. It's a good movement, just be careful with the knees. So the option I'm going to give you is a reverse lunge. So we'll do this one first. So a reverse lunge is actually starting forward and stepping back with the lunge. This can actually be a nice option if you have some slightly cranky knees, instead of like doing a forward lunge and pushing back. We'll do 10 on each side here. So with any lunge, I want you to watch that your knees aren't coming in as you're coming up. Really try to keep them straight in line with your foot. And ideally, I'd like to see like a 90-degree angle here and here as you're doing these. See there, I'm actually a little bit less than 90, but pretty close. All right, now the transverse plane lunges, if these are a little bit hard to sequence for you, that's okay. Do your best you can. But you're gonna start facing forward, push off, rotate, and then do a lunge in the other direction. So there's a little 90-degree turn in this. Now, I want you, as you're doing this, to make sure your knees aren't buckling in. Keep them nice and straight over your leg as you're doing this. And like I said, if this doesn't feel good for you or isn't a good option, then let's stick with the reverse lunges today, okay? Okay, 2 more on this side. And last one. All right, now for the other side, same thing. So they're gonna turn 90 degrees to the side as we do the lunge and kick back up into that turn. So here, turning back 90 degrees, 90 degrees. It's nice to get some rotational component in with some of your movements as well. So, you know, a lot of actually the motion that goes through our joints actually is in a diagonal. We don't actually move, you know, straight up and down as we do it. There's actually some rotation component to all of these movements. I kind of lost track here, but we're gonna do 3 more. 2, 1. All right, good. Now the first movement of the workout today is actually the split squat. We did this yesterday, but in case you weren't here, it's kind of like a lunge, but we're gonna have your feet already in the split position, like you would be in a lunge. We're gonna have your hips squared up, not that you're allowing it to kind of come open up as you go. Keep your hips squared, come down, touch your knee, or get your knee as far down as you can. Remember, don't try to push things too much. Go to your comfort level. And after we do 30 seconds out, we're gonna go to the other side. All right, so then last but not least is the hollow hold. So kind of like when we set up for dead bugs the other day, I'm gonna have you pick out the position that's gonna be the best for you. And this will start by being on your back, where you have your arms around your legs. And then the first step would be to bring your hands off, still keeping this crunch so your ribs are staying down and your pelvis is staying a little bit rotated up. So like this. Next, we'll bring your arms up, one at a time. If that gets to be too much, you can bring one back, you can alternate, something like that. And then the next thing would be to bring your legs out while maintaining this crunch of your core. If that's too much, you can go just part way. Otherwise, try to hold it for 30 seconds as we're here. Okay, sound good? All right, so we're gonna go for 30 seconds of each round of these, starting with the split squats. So do 30 seconds of one split squat, 30 seconds of another split squat, go into the bat wings on the floor, a hollow hold, into the transverse lunge on one side, transverse lunge on the other side, bat wings on the floor or the wall, if that's your option that you're using today. And then another hollow hold before I repeat and do the whole thing over again, okay? All right, so I'm gonna get the clock going, and we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, starting with split squats. Just going down and up. Really nice because there's kind of opposite action on different legs, so you're pushing down with one, but the other one's kind of pushing more through the ball of your foot, so you're activating a little bit different muscles on each side. All right, here we go. 5 more seconds and we're switching to the other side. 2, 1, and switch. Again, making sure that your hips stay level as you're doing this, or perpendicular to your leg. Going all the way up with your knee as you go. All right, halfway through this one, we're gonna go to the bat wings on the floor. I'd rather you have a nice hold with these bat wings versus just going up and down, up and down, up and down. 5 more seconds. 2, 1, all right, to the bat wings. All right, coming here, pushing up through your elbows, come down. Elbows, come down. Now, if you're able, you could try these up on your heels, but I don't quite have the strength for that. That would be a good hard offshoot for you. 7 more seconds. Little pause at the top. 3, 2, 1. All right, and hollow hold. We're gonna stay here for 30 seconds. Try to go as long as you can. Remember, don't let your ribs open up. Keep your ribs down. Keep that crunch in your midline. Keep going. We're gonna go to the transverse lunges after this. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, up to the transverse lunges. All right, so facing forward, turn, lunge, push back. Turn, lunge, push back. I'm gonna try to do that 90-degree turn as you're doing this. All right, 10 more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switching sides. There we go. Nice, 20 more seconds. Keep going, keep going. 15. We're gonna go back to the bat wings after this. So essentially, there's 4 rounds, but we're switching up the lunge variation as we go. 2, 1, and all right, into the bat wings. Hold for a couple of seconds, come down. Really trying to squeeze between your shoulder blades as you do this. If you're doing this variation on the wall, you want your feet to be about a foot away from the wall so you actually get some push against the wall. 3 more seconds. 1 into the arch hold. All right, 30 seconds here. If this is going to be a challenge for you, you can bring your legs up or your arms down and something like that to help make it slightly easier for you. 15 more seconds. 10. Keep holding, keep holding. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, up to the split squats. We're gonna start on the opposite side now. There we go. 30 more seconds here. Just one more round, 8 more movements. There you go, keep going. Always watch to make sure your hips don't rotate out as you're doing this. Keep them perpendicular to that front leg. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch into the other leg. All right. All right, folks. We're through one round plus an exercise. It's all downhill from here. Keep going. Get what you can. 10 more seconds. All right. A few more reps. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the Batwings. I emphasize the Batwings today because it's really a good one for tightening those or working those muscles in the back of our shoulders where we don't have a whole lot of availability to weights to do a lot of pulling. But really try to have your back do the work here, not do a crunch. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Back to the hollow hold. I know these are getting pretty hard for me, so I'm gonna try to keep going. We're almost there. 10 more seconds. Work for it. Going to transverse lunges after this. 3, 2, 1. All right, transverse lunges. I'm going to start with the other leg on this one as well. One down, back up. Hey, we're in the home stretch now. Just 2 more minutes of work. All right. I wanted to do another one of these today just because even though it's Thanksgiving, our bodies still need to work and move. All right, switching to the other side. Take notice too, if one of these sides is you feel a little bit more comfortable doing, that can mean that the more difficult side is one that you could use a little bit extra work on. So, almost done now. 3, 2, 1. Go into Batwings. 2 more exercises. Push up through the elbows and come back down. Almost there. Just one more arch hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, last arch hold. Oh, these are really getting hard for me. 20 more seconds. Then we're done. Oh, 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. All right. Nice work. I know those arch ribs were the hardest one for me. I thought that was a good way to end it. So, anyways, I hope you had a good workout today. Again, keep moving. Keep trying to stay active even though gyms are closed. But That's really a vital part of us to keep moving for just our general health. And I hope you have an excellent Thanksgiving, however you celebrate today. Thanks.